Good evening, gamers. Welcome back to Banished Souls. This is your captain, Cryptic Gaming. I hope everyone's been having a wonderful, well, now it is weekend, so I hope you had a great week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend planned ahead of you. So, what are we going to be doing this weekend? Well, we're going to be grinding out, of course, on our helm and stuff, but I want to take a moment just kind of talk a little bit about some of the stuff that been hearing about some releases. So, we knew that they were going to be coming out with a automated system that's supposed to help get those pieces 8. What we don't know is the exact date of that rollout. It sounded to me originally like it was going to be sometime around into season 2, first part of season 3, but from what we're hearing, some static, some rumors coming from some of these devs, it may actually be as early as this next update on Monday night. So that's going to be pretty exciting to see that. But also something else, they're talking about bringing a flag system in for PvP. If you're wondering what exactly is that going to look like, well, if you ever played GTA, you have a passive mode, then you have the open mode where you can do battle with other people. Sounds like it's going to be pretty similar to that. And again, that's something else that rumor is having it that is going to be coming this coming update here. So I'm hoping it's true. We will see. But some other things that were originally tentative for week 5 would be a new Mangoden ship. Now, are they going to be bringing that out sooner or something? Not really sure, to be honest. But it was looking like this next update originally wasn't going to be bringing a whole lot of new content. But it sounds like because of the demand for a more serious PvP in the game, that's going to be changing here. So those are going to be pretty exciting things to happen. I think that Ubisoft's been doing a great job with listening to the players and what it is that they're wanting to see as far as features coming in. Looks like we have a couple of things to fund here. Look pretty good. I'm not going to worry about funding these that don't have a lot of connection points. But everything else is still looking pretty good. So we're definitely going to have to do some harvesting this evening on those 8s while we discuss what is coming up with the game. So I don't know about y'all, man. I'm really hoping that some of these hints and rumors that are going around about this update, including the PvP, I know a lot of the guys that have come over from our viewers here at YouTube that have come over and become integral members in our Discord group. I mean, we have a phenomenal group over here when it comes to everybody playing. Everyone, including everyone. We have everything from your casual gamer to your hardcore gamer over here. So it's been pretty awesome. We've got some guys that are way up on the leaderboard, which is just fantastic, phenomenal. And of course, those that chase those types of things, we help them with the helm wagers and stuff a lot of times because, hey, it gives us the chance to interact with each other as members. Everyone's kind of becoming friends and stuff, which is pretty cool. That's what I was hoping to see happen with the Discord. I've seen over the years, joining Discord groups, you end up with some that really prosper for a while, and then typically sometimes they kind of really start to slow down. So with everyone that's been coming over, we typically post a open invite for all of our viewers who want to join, and you can click in there and just kind of follow whatever the guidelines when you come in. So some things you want to do and think about when you do join is that you want to make sure that you are putting in a screenshot of if you've reached Kingpin and a screenshot of how many factories you have. There is a rating system in the game that helps us track everyone's development so we know what kind of actual events to schedule. So if you're having a problem getting this Kingpin, obviously we want to make sure that we can get you those infamy points to get you up in that Kingpin. And then to see who has reached those elite status of at least 5 factories or more. The reason I say 5 on that is typically by the time you've taken 5, you've got a pretty good grasp of what's going on within the helm and within the little empire builder. So, and a lot of times we'll come in and have events where we'll load up healing ships and we'll come out and we'll help you capture every territory that you want to your heart's desire on the map. So that's been really awesome. And again, man, that just helps us as well to be able to build our infamy up as we're helping to either destroy ships or send those heals your way. So if you're looking for a tight community that's going to work together, this is the one you've been waiting for, man. We have very active voice chat groups. We have very active text chat. Everybody kind of has their own style, how they like to do stuff. Plenty of servers set up so you don't have to deal with overcrowded and over talking and things like that as well when it comes to those voice rooms. So, which is really integral in this game if you're playing as team. So you see a lot of people going solo. I think a reason that happens in games is when you have a in-game chat system that is currently down. It makes it hard to coordinate with people that you don't know. You know, if it's someone you knew, then yeah, maybe you could text them or something, or if you're on the same game system, you could set up some party chats. But with cross-play, because we do have PS5 members, we have Xbox members, we have PC members, we are truly across the country and across the world now. We have everybody from UK to far reaches of the globe, man, and it's been awesome getting to know everybody, hearing about the difference in culture differences and even similarities a lot of time. It's been really educational in some ways, but it's also been just a lot of fun just getting to know people from all walks of life. Okay, so we are going to dump out some of this cargo. We did a lot of harvesting earlier. This was just from the last run that we had. I think I want to move these heads over there too. Don't feel like dealing with a lot of plague ships while we get these 8s. But yeah, man, so we did a video earlier. We talked about the sandbuck. We put one of those long fire cannons on there, built the highest one we could get for that. And it was okay. It wasn't anything that I was really truly impressed to have, mainly because I'm more of a aggressive, get right up on them type of a shot. Now, PvP, I could see that it would have its use if you're chasing those brigantines and you need something to reach out a little bit further. So if you're planning on doing PvE and things like that, then obviously you're going to arm the ship up a little bit different, especially if you're using a sandbuck, because a brigantine, if you decide to chase it, they typically have some kind of a fire mortar on the back, or they're the fire bombards and stuff like that as well. So you're going to want to make sure you also have a LaFleur on your ship to help zap that stamina and break that shielding on those brigantines, so they're not just outrunning you the whole time too. So some little tips for you. Those are things that I have found to actually be convenient running the Cutthroat Cargo events and stuff. So everyone has their own play style, obviously. For me, a lot of times I will come out, and when I collect my 8s, I usually do that, just coming out and make a nice stream video for everybody and try to discuss some of the updates that we're seeing in the game and talk about some of the attributes of the ship. But yeah, the reach out from our viewership has been great here on YouTube, and I wanted to make a video just kind of thank everyone for that. Those who have subscribed, if you've not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I try to get on here at least every day and kind of show you some of the tips and tricks that we've learned. And then we also come in with our Discord groups and do massive farm raids and stuff. So expecting that video to drop here pretty soon. I'm kind of doing some editing on it. I want to make sure that we don't have anyone else's voices in it, mainly for protecting your privacy and stuff like that. And later on, the upper administration of the Discord, you expect to see some gameplay with that, and we will have joint voice chats in those in the future. But as for right now, I just want to make sure we have a nice, safe gaming environment. It's been really great. So one of the things in the game, apparently I'm not the only one that's noticed it. A lot of our members have noticed it. It seems like maybe some of the wind shift has changed in the game, where as you get closer, especially when you're carrying 8s or doing a mission, as you get real close to the location, the wind has a tendency to shift around real fast to blow directly in the face of your ship and slow you down. I don't see a major problem with that personally. It makes it so it's a little bit slower, obviously, to collect those resources and stuff, or to complete the mission. But I've never actually done any sailing or anything like that. I've been in fishing boats and stuff, but nothing like what you have in the game. But I'd imagine as you come up around islands and stuff, you would end up with crazy wind shifts and stuff. So it seems logical to me to have that in the game. Okay, so I'm gonna mark this on my map, guys. I have a really bad habit of not doing that. And yeah, see how like we're trying to get out of this, we're kind of cutting that. Like I say, I'm not someone who has ever sailed or anything, but you can typically tell when an enemy's nearby. When that wind suddenly shifts like that, you'll start to find plague ships or some sort of a rogue happens to be nearby. It slows you down. So you need to change your approach angle and stuff. But those are some of the mechanic things that I've noticed when you get that strong wind gust. Typically, there's an enemy nearby, so use it as kind of an extra indicator if you don't see them, but it's changing around. Before it just wouldn't let you collect your eights if you remember those days, so you could tell you were being hunted. But the game evolves as players request new things, and I would very gladly give up the not being able to collect my eights, man, because you're always going to have something. Typically, as you come through those little pathways in the past, for those who started playing after they patched that, man, it was one of those things where as soon as you just about get the location, one of those little rafts would spawn directly in front of you. You just tap them. You didn't have to destroy them, just to tap. And you'd have to wait till you lost your hostile level. So definitely a good thing that they've removed that, as far as like you could just swing in and grab your stuff. The only time I've noticed that you can't do that is if you've went and you've done a roving mission, you destroyed the helm liaison in there. It's going to make it so a helm ship, a helm rogue, will actually spawn in instead of a plague ship, and they can actually prevent you from collecting. You have to turn and deal with them immediately. But I mean, you're really looking at, if you drop a mortar on them and hit them with the front zam, they're usually done. So, and they spawn in sets of 2. You're going to be able to pick up those helm materials such as the sugar cane and the poppy and stuff. So that's a really big help as well. But one of the things I would say, if you've got some folks to play with and you're looking for a quick way to get silver, understand commodity. I count as silver production, because you can sell it and make quite a bit of silver on that, more than you would a farming raid. So, which reminds me of the silver chest that these plague ships drop. There's also talk that there's going to be an open all button, or an open all option for those. If you've ever done any mass farming like we do, and you end up with like 400 of those things in the inventory, having to open them one at a time, you would spend a lot of time doing. I sat in here one day for 40 minutes opening those boxes, going, man, if they would just put out an option, I would pay real money to be able to open all at this point. But it sounds like that's actually going to be coming. And again, that's one of those things where the rumor is that it's coming this next update. So if the rumors are true, the little hints that the developers have actually dropped out come to pass, it looks like we're going to have a pretty big upgrade in the game for us. So that's going to be, in my opinion, that's going to be phenomenal. Now, in the past, I can remember back in some of the early tests and stuff, there wasn't really a flag that you raised up. Typically for PvP, if I shot at your ship and you wanted to do a PvP, you shot back, then it would start PvP. So it sounds like it's going to be more of raise up a flag to prevent some of that friendly fire that takes place. If you've ever seen some of our streams where we go all out on a big war, we all load up those captain heads and stuff in the game. It gets pretty hectic because everyone has their favorite cells. Some of us like to look like rogues, because hey, they do have some really cool cells. Some of us are like, hey, we're pirates, so we should have the dark cells, and so we ran dark cells. But it can make it a little bit hectic when it comes to figuring out who's who out there in the open ocean. But it's not something that's really become a problem because it's PvE right now. So those big mass farm events, obviously you probably don't want to have PvP on for that. You could take and set up a pretty large fleet like we did and just wait for people to come strolling out of one of those safe areas with PvP on there. I'm hoping to see, some nice PvP battles between groups here soon, because it would just be fun to actually be able to come out as a team and just come out and just put our ships against some of the other builds that are coming out. I think we've got some really great builds. I have my personal preferences, and a lot of our Discord guys, they have their preferences, and I've seen some pretty incredible builds, especially using that double winch crossbow. So we got a couple guys with that thing, man, and they are like spot on every shot from way off, man. It's just amazing to me. And I've been really enjoying seeing what their gameplay is. I've put it on myself a few times, just practicing up with it and stuff. It could be something really great for PvP on this Sambuck. I know it doesn't have the the fire damage. That's one of the things I've talked about before, but it definitely has the ability to bust those masts and those rip the sails to a point where they're just going to stop the brigantines dead in their track, and it seems to work a little bit better than those Skurlock Long 9. So definitely something to be thinking about as PvP approaches in this game. But I hope that this has been informative for you. I like to talk good stuff about the game. Any game that comes out, especially live service game, you're going to have some of those bugs that need to be worked on and all. And I think that Ubisoft deserves a pat on the back for fixing some of those issues, maybe changing some of the things that we would like to see, like the open all buttons and stuff that's coming in. And they've been doing a great job as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you got to figure a live action game. It took a while to get it developed. They have videos out why it took so long and all that. And I'm just glad that it's finally here. Because, like I say, I remember seeing for the first time back in, I think it was toward the end of 2013 is when I first seen the trailer for this game. Now, there wasn't really any gameplay or anything out for it. It was at a gaming convention I'd went to there in Oregon, and it was actually pretty cool. It was finally had a day off, and a friend had been telling me about it. He'd apparently gotten some tickets given to him. He had to work, and he was telling me about it. So yeah, I'll take tickets and check it out. And I was glad that I did because it was really cool. I had no idea that they even had things like that out there. See all the new concepts coming out, and even some of the concept art. They'll have some of the artists for in these games as well, and it was really cool to see some of the people who are behind the scenes. That when you look at a game, it's easy to come in and say, well, if I had made this game, I would have put this in there, I'd have put that in there. But I don't think the average person like me probably doesn't really have a clue as to the amount of work that goes into putting a ship in the water with a nice sky, and even having the mountains and stuff, and actually having it be able to function like a ship in the game. So they've done a great job in this, I believe. So I went back and I'd played some of the Assassin's Creed Black Flag, that kind of spawned off the idea for Skull and Bones, and I really enjoyed that game on my first playthrough. The second playthrough was okay. Third playthrough, after doing some of the early tests for this, I was really glad to see that they had cleaned up the targeting. So if you're a Skull and Bones or a Black Flag fan and you're on the fence about Skull and Bones, go back to Black Flag. Remember, when you're shooting off the side, you got to turn around the ship. Well, you don't get the free turn like this. You would get so far to like where that line's at, then you'd have to let off the aim and then move over to the side of the ship. And you can do that option here too, but when you're in a serious battle, you can actually speed up that cursor as well to just zoom around if you want to. So that's something in PvP we'll probably be going in and changing some of the settings at that time. At least on the horizontal shift, the vertical tilt, I'm not too worried about speeding that up. It's pretty good as far as where it's set naturally to get that perfect shot. So those are some of the game mechanics I'm really enjoying in it. I've heard that there is actually going to be a patch to fix the sails on the Sandbuck. Now, I don't know if that means that they're going to be actually move and not just be in a stationary position, which would be cool because, let me tell you, man, if you ever play forts, we did some fort raids today as a team, and if you come up along some of those healers or even some of your bombarders in this thing, it's almost like putting a wall in front of them. If they're on the back side and they're trying to hit the fort, you just basically have cut off their field of view. And a lot of times you can't shoot through the cells, so that there's talks that those cells at the very least will become translucent as when you go into your targeting, and say if there's someone's cells in front of you, it's going to make it so it's not invisible, but it'll be translucent, and you should still be able to shoot through that too. So that's going to be a great option to have in there as well. But those are some of the basic game things that some people have had some complaints about. But like I say, man, all you have to do is take the time, go to the technical support for this game, and submit in a suggestion, a ticket, explain to them what's going on. But understand they do have developers, a lot of those devs are still playing. They're actually playing the game just as we are, started at the beginning, and they're just trying to verify some of the things that people have mentioned, see the best way to correct those little issues, little quirks that you have in a new game. But really, I mean, it's been very stable. I mean, we had a few little hiccups here and there. One, I think it was last week. We had a few hours where the Connect system had went down to Ubisoft Social, had went down, so we couldn't see our friends list. But they had that back up and running pretty quick, and I haven't seen any more issues with that, so that's always good. Gotta watch out, them longboats and things will burn you up quick. That's really the only ship that you're gonna have to be concerned about over here in the African side. So something I would like to see in the game, and I don't know if that it will happen, and it's not a deal breaker for me on the game. But if you've ever been over here on this side of the map, you know that you don't have like Tulak Panjara or St. Anne over here for this continent side. So I'm hoping to see that they'll actually put in one of those major hubs with some fresh missions. Would be really cool. But like I said, even if they don't, it's not a deal breaker. I mean, there's plenty of stuff to do over here. As far as the missions and stuff, I mean, I think the missions were to get you to Kingpin, and now you're a Kingpin. Basically, you're equaled up to Skurlock and Rima. So you're just building your own adventure. Now later on, it's going to have where your empire building is going to get bigger. There's going to be a lot more facets that enter into that. So, and then it's going to start combining team facets as well. So that's going to be pretty cool. And it's like I said, as far as the time, I mean, tentatively they kind of had an original release of when this stuff is coming out, but I think they're starting to see and hear that maybe we need to get some of these features in a little quicker. So, and they've been doing that. We got the Zamaharabu Sea Monster. We ended up getting a week earlier than what they had originally planned. So it's nice to see that they're not just stuck to whatever the schedule is that they've come up with. And that to me shows that they actually care about the gamers, and that's one of the things I like about Ubisoft is I've never had any issues. If there was anything happen in games, some sort of problem, they're usually pretty quick to get that resolved. And when I say resolve, I don't mean just close the ticket out like some things do. So, but I've been playing Ubisoft games for years now, many years now. So, and I've always had a lot of fun with them, especially the Assassin's Creed titles. I haven't played some of the new ones that have come out because I'm wanting to get back into the PvP aspect of games, and there's one of the things that really intrigued me with this is the fact of PvP without having to be like a magician or some kind of elf character or something like that, like you get in most of your fantasy RPGs. So this way you can be a pirate, but you're the pirate ship. I mean, really, that was the aspect of the Black Flag that I loved the most, was coming out and just pillaging like a pirate, man. That was what I wanted in a new pirating game. Now, are they going to add mechanics for ground play? Not that I've heard of. I've not heard of any plans to do that. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. We've seen things with games, but I know that they had tried some different routes with that in the past, but it ended up being one of those things where it finally was just kind of scrapped, and maybe it was scrapped until a future time. Who knows? Maybe they'll take some of those features and they'll move them up into that northern territory that's currently covered in mist. So this is basically what we do. We go in, we collect our resources, we farm up silver, we get together, we run forts, because you go into the helm, you do the attacks, and you want to pick the forts. So we all gather up and come in. Now I know a lot of these guys, myself included, we can go and we can farm a level 10 and 11 fort ourselves. It does take longer though to do that, so it's nice when you can come in with 6 guys and just come in and just take care of business, and you can get 2 or 3 forts in instead of just dealing with one in that same amount of time frame. So that was a lot of fun today doing that with everyone too. But if you've enjoyed the content, guys, Give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We will be, as soon as we know something for sure on what the updates, which is going to be obviously right after the update happens, we're going to be putting out a video to show you exactly what's new, exactly what it looks like. So definitely keep tuned in. And again, make sure you look down in the comments for that Discord link. Those do have an expiration date on it. They're only good for 7 days. So if you get to a Discord and see that link in there and it's not working, look for the newest video, look in the comments, or just comment and say, hey, can I get a link? And I'll post that up in there for you. So it's no problem to do that. But we definitely, all of us today, playing, it was great. We would love to bring more people in. Sounds like server sizes are going to get bigger, where it should be able to hold like 35 people instead of the original 20. When that's going to happen, again, rumors say soon. I tend to listen to just enough of rumors to see what's going on, but as far as like when it's going to happen, I don't think it's possible for most people to know that when the developers, as far as I know, haven't even released the information. So those are going to be some things to look forward to. So I'm going to come in here and grab these 8s, but I'm going to go ahead and hop off, guys. Again, thank you for watching, and appreciate everyone who's subscribed, who's commented in. Y'all have been a great inspiration. It keeps me happy to be able to come in and find that new content you're asking for. So have a wonderful evening.